And hello to you. My son does not follow me, but every once in a while he takes a look at my pages to critique what I'm doing. And one of his constant critiques, you want to say hello, Decca? If you're coming over here, say something. Was that I sit too close to the screen when I talk to when I talk. So, I'm not above trolling my children. I've seen where you put that tongue. Mm-hmm. Just, all right, yeah, is that your spot? As long as he's cool. Uh-oh, he hurt his sister. But anyway, yesterday, me and the son that I was just trolling watched Paid in Full. And we had a bit of a moment during Paid in Full. You know, I had never seen it before. He said it was his favorite movie, and I knew it was his favorite movie because we had a dog named Ace Boogie. And we got the dog. We shouldn't have got the dog at all, because I believe adding a life, no matter it be human or pet, to a home requires both spouses okay. And some way, shape, or form, that boy, he was about maybe 15, 16, persuasive young brother. We were just in PetSmart, I don't know, I go in there just look and mess with the thing. Yeah, whatever. And there was this dog named Dean, and he got out of the cage, and he just leaned on my son, and it was so cute. It was over, and I said, "Well, Mom, let's get the dog. Let's get the dog. Let's get the dog. Let's get the dog. Let's get the dog." And I'm like, "I don't want to get the dog. I don't want to get the dog. Your dad's gonna be mad." And he said, "I haven't talked to him about it, and you know how he feels. He don't want no dog. Mom, let's get the dog. Let's get the dog." I got the dog. I brought it home. That dog started sprinting through the house, just willy-nilly, just going wild. And I thought, Lord, what have I done? And to his credit, I'm going to tell you, I had a good husband. To his credit, he said, "You're going to have to walk that dog." And that's all he had to say. Because he says, "Because you know 6 and 6 ain't going to do it. So you're going to have to walk that dog." And then it was funny. Those were the days where I was just doing divorce court. So I would only be away from home 16 days a year. But then I started doing marriage boot camp, and I used to be away from home 2 months at a time. And after a while, Ace Boogie and Eric got so tight that that became his dog above anybody else's. But anyway, I walked that dog a lot, and thank goodness too, because I was fat. Well, I won't say fat, but I was chunky, and I lost 10 pounds fooling around walking that dog, because we used to walk for miles and miles and miles, because I didn't want him all crazy running around that house reminding my husband that I went and did that thing I shouldn't have done. I said, "I'm sorry, baby." He said, "It's all right. You just got to walk the dog." I said, "Well, okay." But anyway, that's the thing. You can't get mad about stuff. He could have said, "Well, take it back." And we would have. I said, "Oh, no, baby, you got to take it." He could have done that, but he didn't. He was like, "She wants a dog. Why not?" All right. But anyway, I wasn't even talking about that. I was talking about Paid in Full. But anyway, son 6 was the one that got me to get the dog. He's the one that I took to the couch store, because I knew he had purchase energy. He has acquisition energy. I do not. And I'm cheap. So anyway, so we were watching Paid in Full. And I had never seen it before. I didn't know nothing about it. He said it was based on a true story. So I'm sitting there looking at. First thing I see on there is Ed Wood and Mekhi Phifer, two people. I actually, oh my God, Ed Wood, I love him. Did you see him in Remember the Titans? And it was so funny because in Remember the Titans, I mean, I just loved him and Bertier, especially when they broke up that fight in the hallway, But anyway, and I always thought after Remember the Titans, I said, "Oh, I hope that young man gets more work." And I've never really seen him in anything else. And then the pandemic came, And I was watching shows I otherwise wouldn't watch, like The Wire, and I got to bask in Avon Barksdale for 5 seasons. Or I had that one season where it was off. But yes, Ed Wood. But anyway, we were watching Paid in Full. And he's explaining things to me, and then so I get out my computer and I start looking up because I like to know who said what to whom and what's really true. And he stopped the show and he said, "Mom, you're not listening. You're doing something else." And I said, "I'm not." Oh, I said, "I'm not doing something else. I'm filling out my experience." Now, come to find out, you can press a button on the thing and they have stuff written too. But I wanted more stuff, and I wanted to know what I wanted to know when I wanted to know it. So we got an argument like this, and I said, "Well, listen, I can't just sit here and do one thing." I would go in the kitchen, make something, he would stop it, pause. I said, "Please don't do that. I can't just sit and watch something. I have to do other things." Goodbye. Now look at this dynamic. Decker. See, I don't know who's in charge or what now. Because sometimes Zora wouldn't come in the room when Decker's there. They have a very intricate relationship. There you go. You all right? You feeling good? Tail a wagging? I'm not going anywhere, but I'm trying to talk about Ed Wood, and y'all got me distracted. So anyway, we were watching the show, and there was a part, I knew the guy in the cleaners, I liked him, but anyway, Dame Dash was there, and I said, "That guy looks familiar." I said, "That's the Dame Dash guy." I went, "Oh my God," and I looked up who did the argument about it. It takes you all down a rabbit hole of, stuff I didn't know anything about, but they were at this scene where one of them was doing something crazy, and Ace Boogie was trying to say, y'all, you don't have to be loud all the time. You don't have to be this and that. And I said, what are you doing? What are you doing? And Xavier 6 agreed. What are they doing? What are they doing? And I said, "What do you think they're doing?" He goes, "Well, it doesn't make any sense to do all of that and all that loud and stuff. So because it hurts the purpose." I said, "So why do you think they do it? If it's not logical, why do you think they do it?" And he goes, "Oh, men are emotional, aren't they?" I said, "Yeah. They're different. They have tend to different kinds and express them in different ways. But it felt so good." And it's just the male ego is just how they feel about themselves. So you feel. And that's what I was just trying to say. Now you got to realize when it's a feeling and when it's a logical decision. You've always, all throughout your life, male, female, or otherwise, I'm functioning on feeling, or am I thinking through things? And I think it's very important. And he said, "Ma, I'm trying to watch the show," which he was doing. I said, "Yeah, but I think it's more important for us to have a handle on the difference between a logical reason and an emotional excuse an excuse we have for behaving on emotion as opposed to logic." And I said, "I think that's much more." He says, "I wanted you to watch the movie and you're ruining the movie." Absolutely correct. I said, "My apologies." He used to say all the time, I do talk too much. See, people just walk out. I do talk too much. One time, 6 said to me, he asked me to do something, and I said, "Well," and then he said, "Mom, you can just tell me no and I won't do it. I don't need to hear all 27 explanations why it's not a good idea." Now, I think the exclamation is more important than the no. Because the next time you run into a similar situation, I want you to know the reasons why it's something I think you ought not do. They're staring each other down. But anyway, I don't know if you see the rest of this room. I gotta get a new. Anyway, so I think that's more important than the no. You know, I think the explanation is more important than the no. But anyway, 9. Anyway, I was going to answer a couple of questions. And now I can't read what I wrote. Well, someone asked me what symposium I went to, and because she would like to go to one, it was just one that was put together by my financial advisor. He did that. It was something he did. He's very, he's aggressive. So it was a one-time thing, and no, I don't know how to fall in love, but I do know how to avoid people. You gotta feed the right dog. You don't want no pictures. Get them all away. Just don't. Don't put do not answer on there. Just take the phone out. Get a new phone number. Fight to do something more interesting than him. Every time you think about him, you're feeding the wrong dog, and you either have to reward yourself for not doing it, or you have to do something like you have to walk an extra mile or something. If you think about him, it's a fight. It's a fight for your time and attention. The feeling isn't going to go away unless you stop feeding it. And you feed it with time and attention. You starve it when the other things in your life that you get on something new and crazy. Buy a big boy and try to do look what I've done in my house, whatever it is. And once that other activity overshadows that, then the love will dissipate. Don't look at nothing. No, social media, none like that. Last guy broke up with me. What was the last one? It was a long time ago. Yeah, I went out and bought a hat. And then that was that. I felt bad for like 2 days. That's probably why he broke up with me. Because I wasn't crap for a girl. This chick done cold. She'll say, no, I don't want to go somewhere just because you don't want to go. I should have been shocked he stayed as long as he did. Anyhow, and I got to laughing and I forgot what I was going to do. I was going to talk about, I have a question from someone who belongs in the Anxiety Society with me, but I'm not there right now. So I'm going to get up. I'm going to play ball with frickin' Frack here before they drive me crazy. I'm going to work on Big Boy. Oh, I'm going to show you my update on Big Boy. And if you have a question, it's down there in the link tree. And so this is my book, My Mother's Rule. Somebody asked me for an autographed copy. And I'm trying to figure out a way just to maybe send her a sticker or something, and then she can stick it in there and I'm going to autograph it for something. I don't know. But these are where all the rules are. Where I thought it was important to tell people that they need to worry about how they think. Well, I don't want to go there because I might not be able to get back out. Y'all take care.